It's a new week of Sisters in
Wellies.
So this week we're going back to the whole fact that we're calving, autumn calving, and it definitely feels like autumn today.
Yeah, it's so cold. We've both got like extra
Layers.
and it's chilly.
Yeah, so we're going to head off to the field now to bring the dry cows back. So we move the dry cows every like 2 days anyway to fresh grass, and we always run them through the race and just see if there's any heavy ones, and if they are heavy we bring them through the parlour and join them to the herd ready to have their calves.
For anyone who doesn't know, a dry cow basically just means that she's not currently milking because she's getting ready to give birth.
Yeah, so we're going to start by setting up the race and then we'll go get them. Nice. So at the minute they'll be running from where the buggy is down here, and at the minute everything is just like wide open. So we're just going to start by setting everything up so they can run in and be sorted. So it's all set, so they'll run up there, down there, through the race, and a splitty split. Let's go get them! Go, go, go! So we've arrived at the field. Dry cows are over there. So in a field that we call the tip field. Lottie, to be fair, knows exactly what she's doing, so she's gone right to the back of their paddock. Make sure there's no losers at the back. So cows are herd animals, so as you can see they are all together in a little herd, which is lovely. If there's someone on their own they tend to be calving or lame or something like that. So Lottie and Poppy are going to fetch them in now. So they're just going to come in now. So dry cows don't rush around anywhere. Poppy and Lottie are just behind. Lottie's been told to stay, so she is like a good girl. It's important we don't rush them too much, especially going around the corner like this. And there's our bull then. Let's see if I can point him up. There, he's called Gift, and he's just in with the dry cows, chilling more than anything really. Like Poppy said, all these cows are in calf, so he's not doing anything. He is just here because it's nice for him to be out than in a pen. So yeah, we'll bring them back to the farm now.
So it's only about a 3-minute walk from the field they were in back to the farm. So you can see the buildings now as we are nearly there. And yeah, they've just had a lovely little stroll in the sun. What's not to love?
And as I said before, we don't push them, we just sort of go their pace. You can only go as fast as the slowest cow, we always say. So we've arrived back. She's going to shut this gate now so we can hold them on this yard. Oh, sorry, Poppy.
This is where you got to have loads of fun like this.
Woo! Oh no, that's naughty. If Dad saw you doing that. Have you got anything to say to Dad?
You can't have a few laughs.
But like, what's the cost of having to get a new gate?
But what's the cost of not having a laugh?
So we've used this race quite a bit in our videos actually, and we use it for TB testing, for worming, sorting cattle, and obviously today now we're using it to sort the dry cow. So it's quite a handy race. We put it in about 9 years ago now, I think. Yeah, we use it all the time. It's just so handy. But yeah, like I said, it's in quite a few of our YouTube videos. Here come the girls. Richard leading the way. Oops. So they know what they're doing. We bring the dry cows through a lot to do there, so they know exactly the score, so they will just come in. We don't have too many dry cows at the minute because obviously we're 3/4 of the way through calving. So Poppy's just going to shut that gate behind them. They're all just walking in nicely. So if I wasn't filming, I'd be at the top. I probably would have caught Richard just to keep her up there, and then they all just come in and line up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cows in the race, and that's why it's ideal.
So what we're looking for now is anyone who looks like they might be springing a little bit or giving any kinds of signs that they're getting close to calving. So obviously the way they are now, they're not going to be really super heavy, because the idea is they're coming into the herd in enough time to have a bit of extra feed and get ready to calve. So they're not going to be really springing, as in they're going to calve tomorrow. But this cow, for example, she's quite a young cow, so she's not going to have a huge udder anyway. You can kind of see her udder is springing a little bit, like it's just a little bit more full than it would be when she was really dry. You'd barely be able to see her udder. And then her vagina is another thing we would look at. They can go quite floppy. So you can see there it's just a little bit loose, which again just suggests that she is going to be calving quite soon. So those are the main signs that we tend to look for. So this is actually a really good example. So if I lift up her tail there, you can just see her vagina is really quite floppy and it's kind of expanded a little bit inside.
So we know that all these are fine, so we're just going to let them go. We're going to stop Trump here. And then we'll just go down the line and check again. Sometimes if we're not sure they're like borderline, we will just put them in the herd, because it's better to be safe than sorry. It's just nice to feed them up and have them in the herd when calving.
Yeah, so the main reason we're bringing them into the herd is to give them cake. So when they come through the parlour, they get a little bit of cake every time. And also the milking cows are actually having a little bit of like silagey hay at the moment, so all of that is just really beneficial to prep them to have a calf. It gives them extra energy and helps them produce nice milk then,
and helps them calve down and all. I've actually opted to put both of these down, so that's Trump and Daisy heading down, and then Ditto's going to go up, and then Libby is also going to go down. So Libby's actually a limb, hence her name Libby Limb. So we have to be quite careful with her because she won't spring the same as a British Friesian. So her udder is actually really quite small for a Friesian, but for a limb she's actually, you can see she's springing. So it's just about knowing your cows and what they're like and things like that. An example then, this is someone who's really not sprung at all, and you can see she's quite literally got absolutely nothing there. That's just to show how you can just see it's a bit more saggy, like there's no milk there at all yet, compared to the ones that we have been splitting off. So as you can see, we're putting the ones we think are heavy down, so they're just being held in there, and then the ones that aren't heavy, yeah, just come up. Sometimes be really silly. There goes Penelope.
Come on, nose.
And they're out. So it's as simple as that. And then we're going to keep the bowl with the dry cows then, because as I say, he is just really, he hasn't got anything to do at the minute. So these are the girls that we've decided to split off, 6 of them, and they'll be joining the herd tonight. Yeah, that's quite important. Make sure we shut that gate properly.
We don't want all the work we've just done to be wasted.
Exactly. So our next job then is to put these dry cows back to a fresh paddock with fresh grass, so they can just go back out to chill. Should we go?
I would like to report that I am far too hot at this point.
Oh gosh, okay, I'm not actually.
Yeah.
Interesting. The sun has come out. So the field they're going to now is just down that lane right at the end, so they're going to be running out here now to go and have some lovely fresh grass. And they've arrived. So they've got a lovely little paddock of grass here to munch on. So even though these aren't particularly heavy, they're still due to give birth within the next month. So it's really important that they have really nice, good quality grass to keep their energy levels up and grow nice strong calves. So yeah, we make sure they have fresh grass every couple of days. It is always a balancing act though with dry cows, like you don't want them eating too much because then they can get fat. Because they're not milking and they're not using as much energy. So yeah, it's like the balance of giving them enough to grow strong calves, not giving them too much to get fat. So we tend to give them like smaller size paddocks. Like that one's a fairly small paddock, it would be too small for the whole herd.
or sometimes they might go in behind the milking herd and clean up their grass or something like that, but we'd never give them as good a quality grass as the main milking herd would have. You might be thinking, what's going to happen with the chosen ones? Will they live in this pen forevermore? If anyone wants to guess now where they think these little bunch might be heading, they're just turning in. So Josie's gone ahead and set it all up ready for them to go straight into the parlour shed, into the parlour. So start milking time, it's like 12 o'clock. But what we like to do is tape them up ready so that when they join the herd and come into the parlour tonight, there's no risk that they could accidentally get milked. There's lots of precautions in place so they couldn't. But we like to put tapes on their legs as well as their tails, just as an extra measure to make sure they don't actually get milked.
Here they come. Here they come. They are super excited. They haven't been in the herd since they got dried off. This is the first time they're coming in for cake, which is really exciting. In goes Sally. Go on then, girls. Go on then, girls. Up we go. So every farm, you can hear them getting fed now. The sound of cake dropping is quite loud, so I'll talk really loud. So every farm has a different system. Ours is blue means dry. So as you can see, nobody's got any tapes on their legs, and actually this cow here has got absolutely nothing at all. So although the unit's flash, so as you can see up here, it's flashing, that means dry, it's saying that she's dry. So if I pull the unit over to milk her, it literally won't drop. What happens if you override it for it to work? So, although it does sound, to be fair to our relief milker, she is really good. If it flashes, she will ask us, like, why is it flashing? But to be fair, ultimately, without tapes, it's not obvious that she's a dry cow. So that's why we bring them in. That's why we don't just add them straight to the herd, because like we don't want to mix up of who's what. Yeah, so we always tape them up before letting them go. So that's what we're going to do now, is put tapes on their tails and on their legs, so it's like extra, bam, I'm dry. Bam! So they're well used to being touched, so she's just going to let her know that she's there, put the tape on, and voila, it's as simple as that. They really don't mind. When they're in the parlour, they are used to being touched. And then we move on to the next one. So we have started feeding the cows just like some dry hay, just to help them, as it is just quite wet at the minute. We've actually got plenty of grass, but it's just a bit of a buffer, just to keep them healthy and all that jazz, just because the weather's turned really more than anything. Here they come. Sally's just been a bit silly. She's realised she's got to walk around. So the cows won't be getting milked until 4 p.m. So the cows will come into the collection yard, they'll get milked through the parlour, and then they'll be walking out just like these cows are now, and that's when they'll join with the cows. So they're getting first pick at the hay. So it's quite important that cows that are due to give birth are just really well looked after. So that's why we want them to come to join the cows, so that they can have hay and some cake and just be really well looked after. So as you can see, they've all gone straight to the hay. And yeah, come about 4:15, the milk and herd will slowly start joining them. So they can just stay here now. There are cubicle beds here as well, and there's water down the bottom, so they can just chill here now for the next couple of hours. They will still go out onto grass. The cows do go to grass day and night, but they just have this in between after milkings.
The end.
So that's that done. So these cows won't be actually getting milked. So although they're joining the milking herd, they won't be getting milked until they're calved. But it's just like we keep saying, important just to get them back into the routine of the milking, and just to make sure they get extra nutrients like they are now.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thought we'd just give you a little glimpse into some of the jobs that go on during calving time that isn't like the obvious calving cows and feeding calves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.